out in the world, finally.
Yeah. Well, out in the world, finally. Like, have you been hiding?
Well, we just haven't, it's been a weird couple of years.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Is this your first time going out and doing like a serious press run?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I've done some Do you say concerts? Do people say concerts?
Yes, it's a concert. It's a show.
Yeah.
Shows. But no, I haven't done this kind of thing.
But you've been still doing this for so long. Do you get like a little nervous before a press tour?
Yeah, because I know I'm going to just step right in it. Anything that can be stepped in, I'm going to step in it.
You're one of those people. That's one of the reasons we love you, because you don't hold back. You don't think before you say something. You just say it, and it's amazing.
Straight, no chase of pink.
Is it
I
though?
Like
It is. It is.
Well, we're going to make it easy because everyone who comes, they leave a question for the next guest. So we're just going to get yours right out of the way. Did you watch You on Netflix?
No, I don't have a lot of time to watch non-animated things.
That's okay.
Pink, hello. It's Penn Badgley. I don't know that you know who I am.
I do.
I find that it's incredible I'm asking you a question by proxy, through osmosis. Tell us the best thing about touring and the worst thing about touring.
The best thing about touring is so many things. Like, it's the little things, right? It's like the padded bunk I have for my kids in the tour bus, which is kind of fun. We all kind of just roll around in there and run up against the walls. The best thing about touring is just being able to do the crazy stuff I do. I get to climb. I'm a child. I'm a grown-up child. I get to climb on things and fly through the air and sing. And the worst thing is the catering, depending on the catering company. We have good catering, and then we have like scary bad catering.
What's the worst thing you've ever encountered when you were like out on the road?
Well, I don't eat a lot of meat, and it was just like a meat parade.
A meat parade, a meat
Just
fiasco.
like a bloody meat parade. I was like, can we just order something?
That's not this.
And you are getting ready to go out on tour. You're going to go to Europe. You're doing a big tour here in the U.S. There are people that the worst things in the world, like they love folding laundry. They love doing dishes. Mm-hmm. Is there something that's out on tour that every musician would say, this is the worst part. I hate doing this, but you find comfort in it?
Well, I'll tell you what I miss the most is going to the grocery store and cooking. That's what
For
I
real?
miss. Yeah, that's the first thing I do after every tour is I get in the car, I drive myself to the grocery store, and then I go up and down every single aisle, and I think about what I'm going to make, and then I come home and I make it. It's fantastic. But what do I take with me? My kids are my baby blankets, basically. I'm so codependent.
What do you like to cook? Like, what are a couple things that are your favorite things to cook?
I've been cooking Indian food every night for a month. My children are ready for me to move on.
I'm sure they are.
But you're not?
No, curries take time to unpack. They're like, oh, dude,
Now,
just make a meatloaf, Mom.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. I'm very impressed by you because you're getting ready to go on this tour. You're going to hit the UK, I think, June 7th. I saw that. That accurate?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There
Sure.
you go.
Yep.
So I heard you've done something that I've not been able to do, other than swing in the air. You've hired your daughter. You've given her a job on your tour. Is this true?
Unofficially, yeah. She helps the dancers in quick change.
Okay.
But what's funny is like, my rigger, who's a very good friend of mine, he's like in charge of my safety team. He went up to Willow at the last end of tour party, and he goes, "Hey, Willow, how much are you making?" She goes, "I make about $10. My mom throws me like $10. He goes, "How many shows a week?" She's like, "I don't know, like 5." He's like, "How many hours are the shows?" 2. So it's like $1 a minute.
Oh, dear.
I don't want to ask for a raise. I was like, yeah, cool, Gabe. That's coming out of yours.
It's funny because you definitely were a wild child. You definitely were super rebellious when you were younger. And then you have kids. Do you feel like nervous there's going to be some payback?
No.
Like Willow's getting no? You don't think your kids are going to be a little wild?
But even if they are, it's okay. Like I think people need to be a little wild these days. We need our girls to be fiery. I keep telling Willow, like, dude, you got to start trying some on. Like, you have to like come at me, dog. Like, why are you listening to everything I say? Try it on at home where you're safe and I'm going to love you. Yeah, like, don't tell me you hate me, but sometimes, like, turn around one time and go, no, and just feel how it feels. It's glorious. She's such a rule follower.
First parent I heard say that.
Well, I want her to try it out on me so she feels safe doing it in the world, because I'm going to love her no matter what. She's such a rule follower. I just want her to, like, break something.
Well, because that's the only way things get done. If everybody follows the rules, there's no creativity. There's nothing new
Yeah,
ever.
and the rules are broken. Those are, no.
Agreed. Well, you know, I know that you recently lost your father, and there's a song that you honor him with on the album. What's something about your father? Because you said he was like your first rock star, and it seems like you just had such a special relationship. What's something that nobody knows about him?
He was a poet.
He was?
Yeah, he was a poet. He taught me the language of the trees. He thought about trees a lot, actually, and I love trees too. He was just a really sensitive, sweet, great dancer, great singer, great guitar player. He loved music. I don't know. He was just awesome. But also he would kick your ass in a bar. I remember we were in a bar and the guy goes, "Let's go outside." And he goes, "After you." And as soon as the guy turned around, he just clocked him in the back of the head. And I was like, man, I would love to be able to do that and not get sued.
Pink is with the Morning Mashup. It's so great to see you and to be able to catch up again. And you've had such a prestigious career. You've kicked so much ass in the time that you've been doing it, right?
She's been making up for it, yeah.
But now that you're sort of like in this status where I've done it, do young musicians come to you for guidance, and do you feel any obligation to sort of pass on what you've learned to the next generation?
You know, people have come to me about touring with babies. That's the thing that I think I've kind of, if you can nail something, that's the thing. It's an impossible thing anyway, but not really. I hate people that give advice also. And the business is so different now. I wouldn't even know what to tell anybody. Everybody comes at it from a different angle now, and I think that's awesome. There's so many different ways than the traditional, I get a record deal, artist development, then I make a record and then I put it out, I promote the record, then it doesn't work like that anymore. It's so different.
How would you have been coming up in the world of social media?
Oh, Lord, no. Nope. No. It's a hard no. I've been canceled so many times. If I'd have had it back then, no, I'd be in a cage. Someone would have put me in a cage.
I feel like you don't like to hear the word no. And obviously you flying through the air is a huge part of you touring. And someone said no to you when you tried to do it like you wanted to do it like a magic carpet stunt. Is that true?
Yes.
With like drones?
Doesn't that sound fun?
Yeah, but like who said no to you and how did you allow that?
Well, the no was an understandable no.
Okay.
The no in context actually made sense because their point was drones can be hacked and what if they take you? And I was like, well, where are they going to take me?
I saw it last.
I got her.
You never know where you can end up.
I got her. She's going down 95.
Oh, I love it.
Where are you taking me? It's my aunt's birthday.
Can you believe this is your 9th album?
Yeah.
You can?
You can.
No. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's something, I'm just getting a vibe, even though it's just like just coming out, that it's like really important to you, like important to you in a different way. Is that true?
It is, but everything is now after this last 3 years.
Yeah.
I feel like when, we've been through a pandemic and losing a parent and having a sick child, like it just distills everything down and you start thinking, what matters? What am I doing? And what am I doing it for? And who am I? Who do I want to be? What are we doing? And so when I put this album together, I'm like, this has to be the best album I've ever made. And in order to get me on the road and do this, I want to do it 100%, and I want to do it well. And we're doing that.
Now, was there a moment that sort of inspired Never Gonna Not Dance Again?
The whole world ending?
Yeah.
Maybe it was, you know what? It wasn't even the COVID. It was the monkeypox. When monkeypox came in, I was like, you're me. Yep. You're kidding me. Really? People will be like, how are you? I'm like, monkeypox. How are you?
That's how I am.
I called Max Martin and Shellback and I was like, okay, no pressure, but we have to write the best song of our career because we're going to die soon. All of us.
Right.
And it's going to be called Never Gonna Not Dance Again because if the world is ending, I'm sliding in sideways going, holy, did you see that? And so that was the motivation for that song. That was the first one I wrote.
I love it.
And Pink, also, I realize that, like my daughter, your daughter has a couple of like mental health issues. Who doesn't these days?
Everyone.
Right? And you deal with anxiety. In particular, your song Turbulence. I came across the lyric, what was, if you're alive, then it means you're committed to survive. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Absolutely. I mean, it is insane how much. That's why I wrote in the Irrelevant last year, the kids are not all right. These kids are not all right. We are not all right. And anybody that's paying attention knows that they're not actually totally okay. And to be able to get out of bed in the morning and drop your kids off at school and go to public places and participate in elections and have an opinion that might be different from the person next to you, it's a really weird time. And I know every generation says that because I've talked to people that were alive during civil rights and they're like, it's always been crazy. Right. When people are being assassinated around you, like it's always been crazy. And you're in America. Think about what's going on in the rest of the world. So yeah, I think every kid has anxiety. And I even find myself having more anxiety, or maybe not more anxiety, but it's just harder to contain, it seems. And so my favorite line in Turbulence is, I'm kind of talking to my daughter and I'm saying, even when you think you can't, I'm going to watch you dance through this turbulence. And the panic is temporary. Like I've had panic attacks and they tell you to, find texture, feel texture and touch things and listen and use your senses. And it brings you back to the present and it grounds you right away. And, that's sort of the turbulence, right? It's like panic is temporary, but I'll be permanent. I'm here. I will walk you through this. We've got each other, and we're stronger than we think. We are always stronger than we think. We are resilient. Human beings are resilient.
It's so cool. I had a moment where my daughter was having anxiety about something, and I said, okay, I sat with her. I said, let's take some deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And we did it a couple times, and she was like, thank you, I feel better. And she saw me stressed a couple days later, not like having an anxiety attack. And she was like, Mommy, sit down. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And
she was listening. Yeah. And it's different for everybody. It manifests in people in different ways. And I have friends with debilitating anxiety, and I don't always know the right thing to say. And I think the only mistake we make is not saying anything.